Greetings and salutations, horror movie fans. My name is Gilbert Ubar, and welcome back to the Attic Review. On today's episode of Tar, I want to talk about director Damien Leone's next chapter of Art the Clown after that kick-in-the-teeth introduction with All Hallows Eve. This time, Art gets the whole spotlight in the gruesome Terrifier. Released in 2016, this gore-fest of a film shows that maniacal clown enjoying another Halloween night stalking some more partygoers, and like we saw in All Hallows Eve, this is going to be a bloodbath. With one jaw-dropping scene in particular that for sure put Art on the horror radar. I first reviewed this film like 3 years ago, and that is more horrifying to watch than most films, so I gotta make up for that abomination with this review. The Attic Review format, I'm gonna break down the movie into the 3 acts and what I loved and didn't really care for, how I felt about the movie overall, so really quickly, please subscribe and let's get into Act 1 of the infamous Terrifier. We start by watching a TV interview with the lone survivor of an awful attack that left the victim terribly disfigured. But we're not the only ones watching this interview, as we see a big-ass clown shoe kick out the screen, pissed off about something. Then we see Art getting all prettied up to go start some shit. But before we get to the credits, the interviewer gets messed up for talking that trash. And then we get to the good stuff. After those evil shenanigans, our story picks up with some intoxicated party girls looking to grab some slices of pizza. They see a clown walking around harassing them for a little bit, and then they enter a pizzeria. That pizzeria though might as well be the gateway to hell, because this is where it gets a lot less fun for the girls. Tara is the brunette and Dawn is the blonde, so we know she's doomed, but we'll get to that later. And old Articus steps in for a photo op with the girls, makes them feel uneasy, and then gets himself kicked out after displaying, again, his fecal artwork in the bathroom. And what is up with him in the Dookie paintings? There's gotta be a better way to make an entrance, my man. Anyways, so Art is not too happy about being manhandled, and he shows them you do not put Art in a corner. And I'm not gonna lie, those poor pizza dudes, woof. The girls though had the right idea to get out of there before the murder death kills happen, but what do you know, their tires are slashed. But Tara has the best sister in the world, Vicky, who agrees to go get the girls, so all they have to do is sit tight and everything's gonna be just fine. Ha ha ha! You wish it was gonna be that easy for the gals. Ooh, but first, those pizza dudes got served a slice of off-the-wall clown vengeance. Yeah, that was rough to watch, but that is still nothing compared to what I am hesitantly but excitedly gonna detail out later to you. After the pizza house slaughter, the girls are waiting for the ride, so we need something to separate them. Aha! Bathroom break. Looking for a potty room, she of course chooses the shadiest building she can find that is watched over by a janitor. Tara finds the bathroom, yay! But Dawn is sitting in the car listening to some horrifying news of an attack at the pizzeria they were just chilling at. And no way it could be the same weirdo she was just mugging with. Could it be? Well, we get that answer as Dawn is paralyzed with fear as Art calls shotgun and enters the front seat. Meanwhile, Tara meets a nice cat lady who will be involved in the story later on, but then as she's trying to leave the dilapidated building, pow! And there's that fearsome clown to scare the piss out of her, you, and me. And we end Act 1. What's there to love about Act 1? Well, after you subscribe and liked, I'll happily tell you. Act 1, director Damien Leone continues his insane energy from All Hallows Eve into this opening 20-something minutes. He is fearless in shoving the violence in her face and just smearing it. And the cockiness of this guy to amp up the violence, knowing that, yeah, he found an audience for the modern mega slasher. The acting is blah, but that's not why we're watching this. It is the unapologetic violence and gore that is the star of this film. And I love that the first act is setting a ridiculous tone that is warning you it is only going to get much worse from here. So far, Act 1 is doing its job in prepping us for the rest of this nauseating ride, so let's get into Act 2. Okay, start of Act 2, where were we? Oh yeah, that motherfucker in the bloody, dirty black and white clown costume is chasing the pretty girl. Within the compounds of the building, Tara and Art are playing a high-stakes game of hide-and-seek, and Art really wants to win because he can't wait to torture and kill Tara. And she ain't making it easy for old Artie, as we are treated to some tense music for this tense chase scene, and hey, where's her friend Dawn at? God, Tara is so close to getting help from that janitor that we met earlier, but sly as a fox, Art comes up and makes her go night-night. We are now approaching the most infamous scene of this movie, and the reason why people are talking about this art fellow. Tara wakes up all groggy and oh crap, tied to a chair, and oh my god, there's Art with a saw and some other toys, and we're over here like, oh my god, poor Tara! Hold up though. What is behind that curtain? Oh my god. And why is she naked and hanging upside? Oh my god. If there was ever a time to look away, this is it. Art holding a saw with a smile, plus a woman hanging upside down, shackled by her legs. I think I've painted a nice enough picture. I'll let you finish the rest of that. Oof. Sorry, I need a minute. Ugh. Tara makes a break for it and escapes, and for a minute there she is whooping that Art ass. However, it is all for naught, as spoiler alert, Tara kind of gets a quick warrior's death, and that's something I would have accepted gladly compared to the deaths of the others, so moving on. And oh damn, I forgot to tell you, Tara's sister Vicky shows up to help out baby sister. However, that rascal Art took Tara's phone and invited Vicky in to join the fun. Now, the cat lady from earlier is reporting the murders to the janitor like he gonna do something. She then scampers off, and as the janitor is trying to figure out what in tarnation is going on around these parts, he gets knocked up, boop, out by Art, and then he takes off to go find Vicky, and we end Act 2. A lot of fun to unpack here in Act 2, but you know what else is fun? Subscribing to the Attic Review. Thank you, and let's talk about Act 2's loves and meh parts. Act 2, wow. Welcome, David Howard Thornton. What a performance. His menacing yet playful mannerisms and jolty movements were memorized again. Already an icon in my eyes. The gores and the deaths. Holy shit, there is no need for director Damien Leone to smack us around like that. And for all you tough people out there going, oh, it wasn't even that bad, or gore didn't make me sick or scared, whatever, good for you. Because I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling unbelievably sick after watching that gal upside down scene. Just makes me very happy to know that I'm not completely desensitized, because that was some harsh doo-doo to sit through. Act 2 dislikes? Didn't really have any, so let's get poppin' after you tell some people to subscribe, please. Act 3, let's finish this up, Poppy. If you didn't know already, Art is a jerk, and he resorts to psychological warfare on the cat lady that we saw earlier, right before he does more unspeakable things to her. I would say unwatchable, but you guys are sick freaks that like that stuff, so we'll see his handiwork in just a moment. Vicky, the sister, gets tricked into the basement area where she sees Art's reimagining of Don and his latest work with the cat lady. More gross shit, man. Now, try to imagine Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Got that picture? Now Art is doing his version as he chases around Vicky, and it is extremely disturbing and icky to watch. Vicky is cornered in a frightening scene, but thankfully another victim shows up to get 187'd. But then she escapes, gets caught, but escapes again, but this time on the run she comes across her sister's decorated corpse. Ouchie. Speaking of ouchie, who else can Art mess up? Let's see, we still got the janitor, who tries to save the day, but for his efforts gets an unhealthy amount of clown shoe to the face, and then Vicky tries to escape again but gets caught and is horribly mutilated before the cops show up. Art is not going out like that and ensures he ain't leaving in the bracelets. We're closing out the film with Art in the morgue. Let's see if he stays dead. And survivor Vicky, well, she doesn't really get a happy ending. No one does in this movie, except for Art. Woo! He had a grand time. That is the end of Act 3 and Terrifier. What did we love, everyone? Well, I love subscribers, faithful and new, so please click subscribe and let's get into Act 3 love and kinda love. Act 3 sure knew how to end this intense story with more madness and darker fates for the characters. I loved the over-the-top gore, not because I enjoy suffering, but because this is make-believe at its darkest and its finest, and this last act embraced its brutal tone. Oh, I loved it. And I also love when movies end on a bleak note like this, and even better when there's a little twist at the end. Act 3 dislikes, couldn't think of anything that stood out enough to make a complaint about, so overall, way to end Act 3 and the film. I don't know what I gush over more in this film, David Howard Thornton's enthralling performance or director Damien Leone's bravery for enjoying his craft so much. Overall, I love this film, both poured their hearts into this, and this mega slasher is a fun one for the proper audience to enjoy. And that's it here at the Addict Review. Check out Terrifier and let me know what you think of this mega slasher in the comments. I'm Gilbert Ybarra. Thank you so much for watching the Addict Review. Subscribe and smile, Tiger.